Let's talk about the best way to gain muscle fast, how to tone your arms and get more cut, how to build a better butt and tighten your core, how to get stronger and progress in the gym, how to lift weights and gain strength fast. As I listed these benefits, are any of these goals of yours? Would you adjust your workout to improve results? Now, this might surprise you, but there is an important, often neglected part of weightlifting: the rest time you take between sets. Why does rest time even matter? Might as well just title this the most boring part of lifting weights ever. Boring, yet necessary. Out of the many variables related to weightlifting, rest time is often last on the list or possibly even forgotten. However, rest has a gigantic impact on your success and can influence your long-term results. I hear people mention anywhere from 30 seconds of rest to 5 minutes of rest. So what is the truth and why so much confusion? Maybe, just maybe, there are variables that affect this variable, and it can depend. In this video, we will discuss the different pathways to stimulate muscle and rest times. We will cover how resistance training affects your body with how and when hormones are released. Stick around to the end to learn how to maximize rest periods. The amount of rest you can take makes a significant difference in your progress in training. They need to be adjusted, just like any other part of your training, such as reps, sets, volume, tempo, workout days, and pacing. Diving into the research, a recent 2018 study looked over 400 individuals, most of whom had trained for over a year. They looked at variables in the training, including rest time, testing out 30 seconds of rest, 60 seconds of rest, and over 2 minutes of rest. They specifically tested lower body and knee extensor strength, squat, and bench press. More repetitions and strength were achieved in the group who had the longest rest time. Well, this is not surprising. It was surprising that most of the group reported they'd been told to rest for 60 seconds or shorter by health professionals with degrees in training and exercise science. This does not line up with current research and shows a lack of knowledge with rest time even in the well-trained and educated. Even coaches and exercise professionals can have misconceptions with rest time and need to look at the latest research to maximize muscular strength and performance. The next time you're in the gym, you will have the knowledge needed, be a little smarter instead of winging it. Later, we will cover the difference between the mechanical and metabolic pathway and how these influence your long-term goals for muscular development. Research shows that 2 to 3 minutes minimum is needed typically to see the best gains in size and strength. This is true if you're training in the rep range of 6 to 12 or even 1 to 5 for strength. This rest time and rep range is recommended for compound multi-joint exercises like squat, deadlift, pull-ups, bench press, and shoulder movements. Longer rest intervals allow you to put more stress and damage on the muscles, which will allow your muscles to grow. To add to this, research from 2009 reviewing 35 studies found more conclusive evidence that when lifting between 50 to 90% of your 1 rep max, 3 to 5 minutes of rest time between sets allowed for more reps, more sets, increased strength, and best results. More rest leads to more long-term muscle. While this may not be convenient time-wise, it is best for maximal strength output. If you have longer rest periods in your workout, these will lower psychological stress, as well as cortisol in your system. This is especially true when you're training near your maximal upper end or near failure. Usually 3 to 5 minutes is best to lower overall stress and for muscle. This is not to say you could not repeat the exercise in a minute or so, but I think you would find your performance suffers and you will fatigue more quickly. Longer rest time is conducive to longevity and maximizing muscle. It would really mean a lot if you'd let us know if this content is applicable to you and what other topics you'd want to hear more on. Please subscribe and turn on notifications. It really helps us so much. Moving on, longer rest times are more ideal for muscle growth, but I know life is not ideal. If you're in a hurry, there is still a place for quick rest times. If you aim to rest a minute or less between sets, this can lead to an acute increased amount of growth hormone, IGF-1. Also, the lactate that accumulates in your muscles during these short rest periods can lower myostatin. As a general rule, the less myostatin you produce, the more your muscles can grow. Short rest times can increase lactate, especially when lifting in the range of 15 to 25 repetitions. Before you start high rep training to increase growth hormone, you should know the increase in growth hormone is only significant right afterwards and then up to a 4-week period before you get diminishing returns. It does not last long. It could be used at the beginning of a workout or could be used for a short training block of 3 to 4 weeks to stimulate change in your body through mixing up the training style and trying something new. If you have shorter intervals between lifts, this will spike cortisol and lead to bigger adrenaline rushes. We've all felt it when getting a quick workout with circuits or drop sets. Honestly, sometimes when I'm crunched on time, I get some of my best feeling workouts. They feel quick, efficient, and are a good mix-up. The spike that is happening is why they can feel so energizing. This can also help early in a workout to get your energy level up, even if you change up pacing later in the workout. Just listen to your body, as it can be a fine line between doing enough to get ready or going too hard, too fast, and fatiguing quickly. Digging deeper, there are two main pathways to stimulate muscle hypertrophy. To help you better understand how that works, how your body's working. How you understand the process will allow you to select and use appropriate rest time. The first mechanical pathway is when you put your muscle fibers under considerable force or stress. This is micro damage to your muscles that happens when you lift weights that stimulates mTOR activation. This is the time when you're resistance training. Your muscle fibers are stressed under this tension, forcing them to break down before they can grow. As you produce more tension, you are lengthening the muscle fibers. This tension is damaging the muscles with micro trauma, and you're activating the muscle signal pathways. This is an effective rep from a muscle building perspective. You want every set and every rep after your warm-up to be as effective as possible. Your workout needs to have enough reps to be effective. This can of course vary by person and fitness level. However, if you only do a few sets or never go over 4 repetitions, this is likely not going to lead to the best muscle building signals and results. That's why typically 5 to 12 repetitions is generally the sweet spot for building muscle. The goal is to use heavy enough weight to damage your muscles, but not so heavy that it's unsustainable. Also, keep in mind that for best results, you want to have excellent form and really good range of motion to engage your muscles fully. If you disengage or go too fast on the negative part of the rep, the eccentric part coming down, this will disengage your muscles and you will not get maximum benefits from the lift. I always encourage you to think about the weight exploding up and then take your time coming down to really feel it. Next is the separate yet related metabolic pathway, which is how your body reacts during a workout and after. This deals with what your body releases to keep you anabolic, creating or forming an environment for growth. These would include, but are not limited to, growth hormone, IGF-1, and lactate. During shorter rest times, you accumulate lactate when lifting weights. To stimulate this metabolic pathway, you would want to have sets lasting a bit longer. Think in the range of 40 to 70 seconds of working time. It is a longer time under tension and not as much weight is needed. The weight does need to be heavy enough, by the end it's difficult to keep going. With your metabolic pathway, there does not need to be as much of an emphasis on good form. You can do partial reps and not fully extend to keep the muscle under this constant tension. For example, if you're doing side lateral raises, you would not touch down or get close to the side with your weight. Instead, you would go about 2/3 of the motion. Make sure you're maintaining a load throughout without completely straightening your arms. This will keep you from relaxing and allow lactate to continue to build up. The goal of the metabolic pathway is not about the weight lifted, but about accumulating more lactate. These would be best for more isolated exercises and engaging a specific area, such as isolating a bicep. You want to keep blood, tension, and lactate constant to engage the muscle more fully. The goal with only resting 30 to 60 seconds is not to fully recover and to keep the lactate from fully leaving. There is still a place for the shorter rest period in the range of 30 to 90 seconds. Sometimes it helps to get your workout started on the right track, get pumped up, and get in the zone. It can also be effective for a 3-week training block and can help you if it's a novel stimulus to mix up your normal routine. However, if the goal is long-term muscle gain and functional strength, adequate rest time is needed to maintain and build strength that will translate to real life and help you maintain strength. The focus of this video is primarily the benefit of the mechanical pathway and how this leads to the most muscular growth long term. The weight you use is key to creating this tunnel to growth. If the main goal is to gain muscle, the weight you use is key. To be able to lift more weight, you need to maximize rest periods. It is important to have longer rest intervals of at least 3 minutes. If you're doing a demanding multi-joint movement like a squat, 4 to 5 minutes of rest could be needed to maximize weight and muscular growth. I'm not saying this will get you out of the gym quickly, but speaking from a purely muscle building perspective. The workout will take a little longer, could lead to a decrease in motivation, more time waiting. However, if you stay focused, you should see strength gains. The pros of longer rests with the 3 to 5 minutes between sets allows you to get more effective reps consistently so you can maximize the time even if it takes longer. This will allow you to recover more between sets and lower cortisol as well as psychological stress. Give you a higher likelihood of maintaining good form and avoiding injury. While there are pros to short interval training, these seem to be more limited in regards to long-term benefit and strength. While the research shows acute increase in lactate, growth hormone, IGF-1, this is fleeting, and research shows the benefits are limited. It's a good option when you're short on time and still want to get in a quick workout. You can get in and out on days when you need to get something quick in. Things are not black and white. It can be a good option as a new stimulus or when pushed for time. It's just not the best option for the long haul. To recap, the objective is strength and muscle gain, and in these conditions it favors a longer period for optimal rest. At least 3 minutes, sometimes up to 5 to recover. The benefit to longer rest between sets is better recovery and muscle building induced through mechanical pathway principles. This is best for compound multi-joint movements, again 5 to 12 repetitions. If you're lifting near failure, this gives you enough time to recover between sets. You can also use longer rest periods during deloads when you lower volume or between a secondary isolation movement. I know with longer rest time, at least for me, it can be easy to get distracted or wait too long in between. Listen to your body and try to stay in the zone. Do what you can to keep engaged or listen to some good music. Don't get lost in finishing a main point in a podcast, but instead, start the next set when your body feels ready and strong again. I know some people struggle to stay in the zone when resting for longer periods. This is because the cortisol and adrenaline are lower and you may feel less excited or pumped up. Think about the form and do what you can to engage your muscles better on the next set. More rest means more time to recover and get stronger. More of this recovery means more time to be able to lift effectively and focus on form, which then means more muscle mass being gained. As always, we're trying to bring practical fitness advice to everyday people. Check out our other videos for help with perfecting your weightlifting, nutrition, sleep, and supplement routine.